Welcome to Rauta. This video is done in commercial collaboration with our sponsor, Steelfest. Hello and welcome to Rauta's reviews. Today we have a band called Helcaraxe, and this is from Ireland, and I'm doing my stupid impression trying to sound like vaguely Irish. Obviously I cannot do it, so balls off and all that stuff. Now this is an Irish black metal band, and let's be honest about it, there aren't too many of those bands coming from Ireland playing black metal. Obviously everybody knows Primordial, but beyond that, bets off pretty much off. That being said, it's interesting to find out that this band has been active already 20 years, and that makes me wonder why this band never appeared on my radar until 2022, and even late at that time, because 3 albums out, some EP split, whatever, and nobody seems to be talking about this band, and I wonder why. The answer is not that obvious. I mean, if the music was pure scheisse, I guess I would be saying like, okay, that pretty much explains it. But as it turns out, this third album is actually good. And that makes me also want to think about how the band was doing prior to this one. But since this is my virgin run with the band, I won't be comparing this third album, Drown in Ash, to the previous ones. But what makes also this one interesting is that, however, even though they started as early as 2003, was the first album was out in 2012, so took quite a lot of time for the band to just figure out how things are and get to the album phase, so to speak. And if you're much like me wondering what the hell is this name, well, at least Metal Archives lists this one of those Tolkien names, so that should explain it if this name sounds a tad bit weird. Now let's drown ourselves in Drown in Ash album, and this one is some 45 minutes, give or take, a little bit more than that, of melodic and one could say even atmospheric black metal. The thing here is this is very melancholic at times, which in my opinion is some of the best things happening on this album. It's not your typical melodic black metal like the Swedish style, where it's supposed to sound like super evil or at least very dark and sinister and all that stuff. So in a way this is refreshing because it's melancholic, it's kind of a sad sounding here and there, but it's not like your next door DSBM or whatever. So there is definitely some different kind of a take. I would also almost go as far as to say there's a tiny bit of the kind of a catatonia thing going on with the melodies and sounding melancholic. But it's not sounding like this is some copycat thing. It's more like having this different perspective or angle about melodic black metal done in an atmospheric way and all that stuff. Now, as good albums always come with a little bit of contrast, this one is also one of those because there are also very aggressive fast tempo parts where it sounds more like a typical second wave black metal, and by that I mean these faster parts are definitely something very 90s like, both in terms of riffs and production and everything. Riff wise this isn't phenomenal, but those melodic parts definitely always like, okay, now it feels like a notch up in that respect. Now when it comes to the production, this is very much like 90s sounding album. I mean, not exactly the early 90s, but there's nothing super modern or produced with this one, which then again fits the music very well. The screamy vocals are something that needs to be also addressed because while they are kind of a typical safe and sound kind of thing, they're more on the high pitchy department. That is where some bands go very raspy, even almost like lower end of black metal raspiness or screaminess, shriekiness. These one are definitely on the higher pitch. Not exactly Danny Field of Cradle Field like, but still definitely on the more tighter end of vocals. I mean, compared to like the kind of raven vocals, which you might hear on some albums. This is more like, ow! Now I'm not gonna scream too much, but I hope you get the idea. So definitely pitch up, if you will. Overall, I was a little bit contemplating whether this would be a 7 out of 10 or 7.5 because I was not ready to go for an 8. And the thing here is, there are parts where this is almost more like filler before killer. But whenever those melancholic parts come into play, it's like softening me up and I'm like, okay, it's better than 7. So ended up with the score 7.5, meaning this is a good album, but some finishing touches could have been made. I mean, this could have been even better if only those more like filler parts could have been, well, fixed. Might be wrong word, but you know what I mean. These are always matters of taste and all. So, been out since last September. Not that old really. Go for listen, and you will find those links in the description box. There is a Bandcamp site, Facebook, and beyond, and you will find all the necessary information as well as the music. It's also out on your favorite streaming services. At least I was giving this one a go on Spotify because I don't have the physical copy here with me in Spain. This being said, give it a go. A melodic, melancholic black metal, nicely done from Ireland. Let's hope this brings Ireland back to the map. Alright, take care and bye-bye.